hello, hello, hello. It's good to be back. Oh, sorry about missing yesterday, but I had some big things going on. Had to get things ready to go for January 2025. I'll be making a big announcement soon about our new comic series. Been working on it a while, and it's nice to finally be able to have it come out. Alright, so today I'll be working, doing more work on this Hellboy commission that I've been chipping away at little by little over the last, I don't know how long. My commission clients are very, 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 very patient to allow me to sort of chip away at these each week on my live stream. And I do appreciate that. It's very kind of them. I hope they appreciate the work I'm putting into them, that's for sure. All right, so as usual, I'm watching the chat. So if you are in the chat, please feel free to say hello. Talk to me while I'm working. I'm going to be on for about an hour, and I'm just going to jump in here and start working. I got this guy looks really silly here, but I need color reference for my Jawa colors. I haven't flatted the thing yet. I've done, as you can see, in the last time I worked on this on the stream. I did some work. Here, I'll turn this all off real quick. Did some work on the shading, and originally it was just going to be kind of a lighting pass to sort of help me see where I wanted to put ink wash on the actual original artwork for the client. But I think I'm going to keep it as the shading because it works for me. Anyway, back to this. So I have very specific colors I use for my Jawas, and I had to go in and find them. I think I'll turn off all the shading while I do this. I think anyway, I obviously wanted to use my colors for my Jawas, which are very different than the normal Jawa color. In fact, the file that I pulled this reference from was one where I kind of teased myself for drawing the Jawas very differently than they look. I also did go in and do some touch up on the line art, certain areas. I might go in and digitally ink the Jawas because they don't look exactly the way I want them, but I think I can get away with flatting them right now just for the time being and not have to do too much work later on. Hello, Rob Smith Designs on Instagram. How are you doing today? Thanks for stopping by. I have not decided yet what color I want for the giant robot. I think I'm going to have it be sort of a gunmetal gray to imply, but with a hint of maybe purple to imply a German origin from World War II, which fits with the Hellboy aesthetic. I kind of had to split the difference for the design for the robot between Star Wars world and Hellboy world. Hopefully I did okay. Let's do the eyes next. I do miss John Jawas, but you can't always do fan art. It's a lot of fun though. They're like minions in a way, where you can put them in all kinds of situations and have them work pretty well. Okay, oops. Wait a minute, did it? Oh, I didn't turn that off, that's right, okay. Talking to myself, sorry about that. One thing that I really want to change is I want to get a little bit more detail into these Jawas. I wasn't able to do that in the line art the way I wanted to with the inking, that's for sure. The pen and ink and brush pen inking, I should say, just didn't come out the way I wanted them to. Some people do their flatting different ways. Selection tool is one way, but I tend to think of flatting as another way of like exercising your drawing hand. You know, why not get a little bit of exercise out of it? It's really tedious. I don't miss doing it. My wife is my flatter these days. Sometimes I gotta flat my own stuff, like today. But if you're a comic creator or an illustrator in general, you can get your own flatter. I highly recommend it. It is so not fun. Oh, I wanted to ink this little robot guy too. I don't like the angle it's at. So as I was saying yesterday, I was busy in the morning doing stuff to prep for the debut of a comic series that's coming out in January. It's finally solicited the first issue. I've actually already solicited the first trade collection. That's how far out you have to work in the book world, the trade world. It's really ridiculous. But yesterday I solicited the first issue. It feels really good. So I didn't have time. I had to make up time in the afternoon because of the time I had to spend doing that. I had to finish some things. Anyway, if you want to hear about the announcement for anybody else, subscribe to my newsletter, my Substack newsletter. You can find the links in various places, in my socials, go to my website, otisframpton.com. It's right there, the sign up. Because even though I haven't posted my newsletter in a while, I'm about to send one out this week that announces my intentions for this comic series, and you might it'll be your last chance to get a glimpse of the comic before it hits print. Yeah, I definitely want to re-ink these guys. They just don't look the same. They don't look the way I want them to. All right, let's tackle Hellboy next. Let's get my reference going on here. Where's my Hellboy reference? There it is. Let's do this. There it is. Now, let's go down here. Well, something like this, but more subdued. I'll throw down some colors, but then it's way too bright for my tastes. So let's just select that. Let's play with this a little bit. Bring the saturation down, lighten this up, maybe saturation a bit more. There, that's a good base to start from, I think. So it's a little light, but it's not. It's gonna feel darker once you put the shading over it. So, and I always do a saturation adjust at the end anyway, so you can play with that later. unfortunately, you may end up watching me just like flat this, but today, because the shading's done. But it'll give you a good sense of how I choose colors. I think even if you're watching this for any hint of process, you get to see that. Definitely gonna redo that word balloon. I'm not crazy about that. Give it a little more character. My hand lettering is not great when I have to re-ink stuff like this, but I do. I mean, my traditionally inked hand lettering. I actually do all my comic lettering in Procreate by hand. Not the text, but the balloons and text boxes and that stuff. It's all hand drawn. But there's more leeway for tweaking it than there is when you ink traditionally. I'm just not as good in the real world. Just gonna get this red down. I always thought it was funny. I mean, it doesn't look like it, but I kind of gave him like bicycle shorts. I don't know why. That's the impression I got when I looked at the reference images. It's like, is he wearing bicycle shorts? I gave him very hairy legs. It's also nice to see this in color because you can tell what things are here easier now that there's some red in there. Okay, and the tail. All right. He's got black hair. Like I gave him very, very dark hair up there. But what I want to do is I wanted his sideburns and to look a little bit different. So let's throw some brown on there. Yeah, I wanted it to look like that. Color the hair. Let's like, whoops, no, can't do that. But I can do that. There. Yeah, so I want to give the sideburns a little bit more of my own look. And his goatee, of course. Is this the right brush? Boy, it's funny how you can tell when you're not using the right brush, even if it's a very similar brush. It's like there's no grit in this brush. Where's my grit? There it is. Brush I use for this kind of thing has just a little touch of grit that I like. Okay, let's merge that down. I like that color enough. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Okay, let's just make sure that I like it. Yeah, there we go. Now I can select it. There we go. Just check out the reference. I don't see any. Oh, there it is. So for his jacket, I want kind of a let's start with this. But we'll go a little lighter. And then a little brighter. That's why I did that. Not crazy about that. The value is a little bit too similar. But let me get it on here before I make any decisions. The value is just too similar to, in fact, let me just do something real quick. I did this a couple of shows ago, I think. If you fill a layer with black, what are we doing? With all black, set it to color mode. It's a good way of checking your values, and there you can see that the values on his coat are just way too similar. One thing I can do here is select it right now. Just lighten up a bit. Okay, well now at least in black and white it looks different. And it looks different there too. Good, that works. Value check, always important. That's gonna work better. Can always change it later, but it works for now. I may end up, not may, I usually end up doing color overlays and adjustments and effects, and that can change things too. Just not sure what I plan to do yet, because we're still at the sort of base stage. You get all the flats down. Although I've done the shading already, I guess. Shading, I should say. let's enunciate. That could come out wrong. But it's already starting to look better. Alright, let's find a change these a lot, but I'm gonna get these down here. Oops. I think I'm just going to use this for the basis of the rest of this color, and I can throw colors over it and adjust, but at least I'll have a base to work from. Okay, actually, okay. Everybody's pretty quiet in the chat room today. Feel free to talk to me. But otherwise, I will be here. All right, let's. Oops. Got to change it to the correct layer mode. Okay. Let's rename this. I think the Jawas, actually, I need to lighten up there. Or look a little. Even though it's what I usually use, it's not working for this. It's a little too dark. So, brighten them up. Bring the saturation down a little bit. All right, so where am I? I'm not going to give him yellow teeth, don't worry. But I don't want it to be pure white, so that's why I do that. Let's throw some color. Let's start with this. Into the robot. I'm gonna turn the shading off again real quick. So it makes it easier for me to see where Robbie is. Another thing I decided I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace the smoke here. I did what I wanted to do with the ink version, the actual traditional ink version. I use a dry brush technique to do that, but for the digitally colored version, I want it to look a little more painterly, so I'm just going to completely repaint that over the line art. I think I can give it a better look overall. Still haven't decided what I'm going to do on the full background. I might actually do a much more painterly version of the background too. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I want to get these characters slotted in first, which is usually what I do with the pieces that I work on, or the comic pages that I color. I'll get the characters in flatted usually and lit the way I want them to be, and then even in the layout stage, I'll, sometimes I'll do temporary, shading for just to get a sense of the lighting that I might be using, and then work the background in. I rarely work the other way around. Sometimes it's necessary, but I rarely draw a background and then slot characters into it. that feels backwards to me, but there are sometimes reasons to do it. The eyes of the reader / viewer are always going to go to the character and usually focus on the character's eyes when you're looking at something with a person or a character in it. So you want to make sure you nail that first, and everything else can be great still, but if you don't get that right, you're probably going to lose the attention of your viewer. Sanjay Charlton on Instagram asks, "What are you working on?" Working on an iPad Pro. It's the 13-inch. It's the latest one. I upgraded. I think I waited a few versions, but this is the newest version. All right, let's turn the shade back on. Yeah, the gunmetal, it's working for me. Let me just throw a different color in for the background. No, that's not the color I want. Although, yeah, I think I want the background to be like a little warm. So let's start experimenting here. Let's throw a really bright orange in there. Everybody mixes their colors differently. This is pretty much how I do mine. I'm gonna get rid of my reference here real quick. See, now the robot's popping a little bit more because he's kind of a cool color. I wonder if I can throw a little more. Let's get a bright purple just to. I'm going to reduce this a lot, but I wanted to get it a little bit. Let's see how far I can go. No, that's too much. And in fact, I think purple might be the wrong way to go. Let's throw a brighter blue in there. Yeah, I think that works. That works better than the purple. Purple has more life to it. I want the scene to look like it's actually completely dead, so the blue works better. Okay, I think I'm good with that. Merge those down. I'm going to start. Let's add. Just going to take some big swings with lighting here real quick. Just a little bit. I'm gonna keep these. Well, no, I'll merge those. Can always change it. Now I'm gonna go in and just. Whoa, that's the wrong tool. Let's grab the right one. Already start to see it starting to come together. It's starting to feel like, ooh, it's really saturated there on the video. Let me see if I can adjust that a little bit. Yeah, it's still pretty saturated. I apologize about that. It's the best I can do, I think. If only you could see what I see. So that's the main. Since I did this a little backwards, my backwards from my usual approach by doing all the shading first. Some things are different. I gotta adjust to those. Jawa still look really dark. They're not as dark as they're darker than I wanted them to be, that's for sure. Let's go in there. Oh, come on, stop that. Alright, I gotta turn that down. There we go. Yeah, that's better. I'm gonna save this selection actually after I finish selecting all these parts. So if I need to use it again, I can use it again. Save it. There we go. Let's do another adjustment on it. Losing track of where I put things. There. Okay. Let's drag this down here. Get rid of that. Probably gonna need to go a little glow to these Jawa's eyes, make them pop a bit more. Right now I'm just sort of moving around the board, so to speak, just tweaking certain areas to get a general sense of where I'm going to go from here. What time is it? It's 2:40. Okay. I think what I'm going to do next, and then I'll probably be done for the day. Let's put that down here. Let's go in and do a little bit more work on the shadow areas. Call that shade 2. Let's select the flats. Just go in and do some tweaks, just a little bit of secondary shadow on these. Still so much work to do, but it's starting to get to that point where I can see it a little more clearly. You know, I can sort of see it the way I saw it in my mind's eye. Whoops, I forgot to finish inking that. All right, to the new lines. Let's just throw this. There. Starting to feel right. So it doesn't feel right though. Just do something real quick. It's bugging me. There we go. Oh, that was driving me nuts. I'll probably redo the lettering completely, the dialogue blend too. But at least now it looks a little more like it's supposed to. Definitely gonna make the smoke and fire behind him a little more orange. It's a little too reddish right now, even though you can't see it. It's, if I put more orange in there, it's gonna help Hellboy pop out a bit more, I think. I'm gonna add some more lighting to this side to imply that there's fire going on from that side too, which is lighting the scene. Same with this. I'm gonna basically repaint the sandcrawler in the back and give it kind of an orangish haze, like there's fires going on all around. What I also wanted to do, I might do this with the original art too, is apply a little bit more building back there, so that it doesn't look like there's fire going on behind him, but not over here, and there's an explanation for that. I kind of didn't think that through, did I? But there's always ways to tweak it. What time is it? 2:50. Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop here, because I think that if I started something else, I'd want to have momentum going into it. Sometimes just posted this on Twitter to somebody about how sometimes if you only have a little bit of time, got a certain amount of work, you might want to reschedule it so you have a longer time, so you're able to get into a flow state, into a groove state when you're working. Because I know that there are certain areas and certain sections, certain types of work that if I'm not able to get into that kind of flow state, it's gonna hamper the work. And I think that I've got this to an okay place. I wish that the video better represented what I was seeing. I think I had the saturation down too much, but oh well. Still at least maybe an hour or two of work left in this piece, but boy, pushed it further than it was, that's for sure. All right, tomorrow I'll be back at 2 p.m. Central to do more work on the five-page Captain America commission that I've been working on. I hope to have something to actually ink on paper tomorrow, because I need to get a couple more pages fully penciled so I can ink them and get those going. In the meantime, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff on YouTube, X, Instagram, Rumble, Facebook. Is there a fifth one? I forget. I know I streamed to 5 places. Anyway, please, like and share and subscribe, all those places. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.